Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundokai with Reverend Yutaka Yamada. Today being Thursday, the 7th of October, or the 2nd of September in the 9th year of Chongalguk. Let's begin by offering a bow to our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Chariot, Kyombe, Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가정맨세 6. 전일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 손을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 6. Our family, the owner of Chongalguk, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying the Heavenly Parent and True Parents, and to perfect a family that conveys heaven's blessing to our community by centering on true love. And I'd like to ask Debbie if she could offer the opening prayer today. Thank you.
Good morning, Heavenly Parents. We're so grateful. We've been learning so much. We've been listening to so many beautiful testimonies of brothers and sisters. Heavenly Parents, we're so excited for the changes that have happened in our movement. As we progress, our True Mother will take and change this world. We are sorry that we don't do enough, but we will try harder, and we will bring victory throughout this world. This world will change, and this world will be a place where peace and love abound. Thank you so much for this opportunity in our life to be so close to True Mother and everything that she's doing. Thank you so much. Guide our everything that we do, and we want to listen well today and learn as much as we can. Thank you so much. We offer this prayer to you in the name of Chris and Debbie Bruce of the Central Blessed Family, Aju.
Aju. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Yutaka as he shares this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, our brothers and sisters. Thank you for coming and join this morning from the Quay. Today is also begin the new day. Our old ancestors, spiritual world. And I think this time more Christian ancestors also come together with us. So all together, let's offer the sincere devotion and heart to our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. So now we are receiving many testimony about Pacific Christian Leadership Conference inauguration, and also receiving the feedback. So each nation, so some nation mentioned that even some blessed family who had distance with current movement start to come back and to work together for mobilization and activity for PCLC. And also some Christian in the before, they oppose us, and very difficult to approach those Christian churches. But this time when we approach for inauguration of PCLC, totally their atmosphere was changed, and they're supportive, and they're really working together. So now we are receiving many also the feedback or testimony. And also internationally, our America, Dr. Michael Jenkins, Dr. Taj Hamad, Dr. Tyler Hendrick, they join together with our the PCLC inauguration. They are really so much appreciate and also surprised and also inspired this high level quality and even message. Do you remember the Paul White message? Reverend Paul White, really her message was strong. So Dr. Michael Jenkins supported the contact Reverend Paul White, and she really testified about True Mother and also our Christianity. So we sent also those videos to her also. And the Hillsong is really famous, not only Australia, the America and the world level. That's why when they watch and heard the name of Hillsong, they are also so much inspired. And also a message of Trumada, when Trumada gave the message, really her message is sincerely and share directly the heaven's wish and also Jesus' heart and also mother's position toward Christianity. So her message is really soft, embrace, and clear to all our leaders, brothers and sisters, and Christianity clergies. So this time really message was great. Still we are collecting. So I think some brothers and sisters, you have also precious realization or experience. So when you send the reflection, please put really what kind of inspiration we can report to Trumada, my nation. We have many kind of episode, many blessed family experience or spiritual realization. Trumada, please listen this report. So those reflection and report is really the precious, how we can share the good experience or inspirational meeting. Then this atmosphere become more bigger and bigger or expand to another brother and sisters and even another nation. So your one experience really can change the people, can inspire another brother and sisters, even also the spiritual world. That's why please, if you have many experience, even short sentence or message is okay. So please put and share your activity or realization and your inspiration and also the experience. And now we should discuss for the next plan, how we can guide our PCLC activity and even how we can guide Christian clergy or brothers and sisters. So when you think the Christian clergy, if you some kind of idea or if you have some concern, I want to give those education or some kind of request or suggestion. I wish to have this kind of project, this kind of education, or this kind of idea. So please give those things. We will continuously discuss with our leaders and also brothers and sisters. And later, maybe within 1 week or 2 weeks, we will have also the meeting of the advisory committee. So advisory committee is the Christian clergy from each nation. We meet again and we will discuss with those Christian clergy from the several nations. So if you have idea, we can directly share to them and discuss with them to create project and also the plan. So please share your message and your idea. Then we can develop more. So thank you for really investment and your Johnson and devotion. So let's continue today's contents. Almost this True Father's message, maybe today, 1 or 2 days, and we will conclude. Then we will go back to True Mother's autobiography. So we can feel again and we can connect our heart to our Jesus Christ. So Father's message, Jesus Christ, the pride of God. So yesterday we share the contents and Father mentioning about Jesus who took responsibility about past, current, and in the future. And through the history of human beings and the world, only Jesus himself could understand God's heart, could understand God's circumstances and God's situation, grief, agony, sadness, or everything. That's why God entrusted him, loved him, and gave everything to the Jesus Christ. So let's continue. Just as Jesus stood tall before God, we have to learn to take on the responsibility for the whole. If the task proves to be difficult, then you should appear before God and Jesus with the mindset, please give the difficult mission to me and say to them, please reveal through me your heart's desire. Please show it through me. So this is the way how Jesus stand and also have the life, take responsibility, the whole. So when we see about God, when we think about our Jesus Christ, we have to also stand and also pray that, please give that difficult mission to me and say to them, please reveal through me your heart's desire. Please show it through me, Father said. These kinds of people are the ones who will remain in the end. If such a group of people does not come forward, how will Jesus, the only begotten Son of God, realize the goal he has been striving after for the sake of humanity for 2000 years? If Jesus, the only Son of God, who has been putting his life at stake and has been walking in course of responsibility, cannot find people who can take responsibility, then the time has come when we have to pray, please allow us to bear the responsibility of history, of the present and the future that Jesus pledged to carry while he was on the cross. So Jesus very wish and pray the person who will appear for that. And also God wish the person who will appear for God's will, who will take responsibility of our Jesus and our God. So Father said, if Jesus cannot find people who can take responsibility, then the time has come when we have to pray. Please allow us to bear the responsibilities of history, of the present and the future that Jesus pledged to carry while he was on the cross. So we should have those attitude also. There have been many times in our lives so far when we have tried to shift the burden of responsibility to God. However, from now on, people must emerge who pray, I will take on the responsibility and fight on behalf of Jesus, who has come to the earth as the King of responsibility, representing the aggrieved heart of God over 4,000 years. Even if the enemy, Satan, and countless people do not welcome it, I will take on the responsibility in his place and fight on. Jesus can rest in the garden of peace only when such people step forward. So Father, continuously sharing and mentioning and sharing the heart of Jesus, really try to console, try to really comfort even Jesus' heart and the Father's heart. When we meet, when we face the difficulty, what kind of things do we pray? Our prayer is not only just the time when we face the difficulty. Before that, how we can pray, really console our God, console our Jesus, and really take responsible behalf of God and understand God's circumstances and fulfill, achieve God's wish and God's hope. This is actually the person who is filial son and filial daughter. So we could see our Jesus' heart, we could see our true Father's heart. In the last days today, what we hear and the words, who can listen to my appeal for my life? Nonetheless, who is the one who can listen to the appeal of life Jesus makes? He who inherited the life of God. God is looking for people who can. Jesus has been praying for humanity from the right hand of God. The reason Jesus could not rest and had to pray until now is not because Jesus made some mistake. Moreover, it is not because Jesus cannot go before God. It is all because of us. Therefore, for the sake of Jesus, who has been working hard for 2,000 years, you should try your best to fulfill the responsibility of life, even if you have to lose your life. So after Jesus went to the spiritual world, Jesus Christ stayed together with God, spend the time together with God, but continuously he is investing for human beings without taking a rest in the spiritual world. So when I heard this message of True Father, really I think a lot. Jesus himself, he really sacrificed and he invested whole life while he was in the physical world. He sacrificed for God, he sacrificed for in the past and human beings and even that situation. But also he prayed for the future generation and he prayed for the future second coming and future new descendants. But when I heard the True Father's message, Father said, Jesus is of course investing while he was on the earth, but not only that, even he went to the spiritual world, but still he really investing for the future generation and for all of us, current people and also current world. After his life on this earth, still his investment is continued. So before going to the spiritual world and after going spiritual world, because Jesus could understand that God's heart, that's why he cannot stop. He cannot take a rest. Still he investing continuously for liberation of God and really to make a freedom and achieve will of God. So we could understand about really those Jesus situation. So I really think many things, and especially this word, because Jesus passed away on the cross, the responsibility of life remains on the earth. The time that this remaining responsibility of life must be completed is the time of the second coming. The time of the second coming begins when someone appears who can take on the responsibility of life, because he is the one who is carrying the responsibility of life in history and in the future. You should join in the final battle and fight on his side, who will take responsibility. We are the one who will responsibility. So really Father's word is exciting. Father is continuously mentioning about Jesus before going to spiritual world and after going spiritual world. We learn many times about spiritual world through divine principle, right? We have 3 stages. First stage is that we stay in the mother's womb. Second stage is that we are living on this earth by breathing the air. And what is the next world? Is going to the spiritual world. So spiritual world, this life is the eternal life. So this earthly life is actually the time period for preparation for the next world. So many times Father is mentioning we should not satisfy, we should not focus on this earth life. Actually, this life is the preparation for the next world. How we will prepare well and how we can enter to the spiritual world well. We know this message many times, but through today's message, I really think again, after going to the spiritual world, how much do we recognize or think the life of spiritual world? Have you imagined about life of spiritual world? We are thinking of the life on this earth well, and we are just imagine we will go to spiritual world, maybe we can spend a good time, we can spend a happy life, no need to worry anymore. If go to the kingdom of heaven, our life become enjoyable or a great life in the spiritual world. I'm not sure, maybe some of you think a lot, or some of you never think. the life after entering in the spiritual world. So, but how about Jesus? How about Father? Even before going to the spiritual world, he was thinking, how about our life in the spiritual world? And even Jesus, when there, his life is continuously to support, console, comfort God, and also Father himself. When Father went to the spiritual world, Mother also mentioned the Father's life. Father continuously working hard in the spiritual world to liberate spirit in the spiritual world and liberate also and support the providence on this earth, because Jesus know, because our true Father and true Mother understand our God's heart, God's belief, God's suffering and agony. That's why in order to liberate everything, continuously investing. So when we prepare for the spiritual life, not only for myself, even prepare for future descendants, even prepare for our heavenly parents and true parents, how much great, how much really precious, and how much our life become changed. Not only myself is going to the good spiritual world, but also how we will really to support our future generation and liberation for God. So through Father's message, really giving the many inspiration and really exciting Father's thinking and Father's message and Father's life itself. The beginning of the time of the second advent. God wishes to love men by raising them up through the Jesus of faith and through the Jesus of truth. He truly wants to love you all. When we are told today that we should follow the example of Jesus, at least in our hearts, we should be able to say, yes, that is true. If you cannot become such people, then how can Jesus, who could not rest for even a second until now, take a rest? So Father continuously mentioning about Jesus' history of 2000 years of Christianity, and now also Father is mentioning about second coming. God really love you all, and how can we become like Jesus? Therefore, you should take on this condition that God has put forth as his pride. You should establish the conditions that stand as the pride of Jesus, who has gone to the spirit world on the earth. By doing so, you will become the ones God can take pride in. So Father is mentioning how we can become the person who God pride of. What do you think? Now God is here. Now true Father and true Mother is here. They can proud of me, or still really wishing us to grow up more. Father, Mother, Heavenly Parents is really loving for each of you and each of us, and continuously they raise us up and wishing and give the hope. So Father also mentioning that how we can become the person who God take pride in. We have to continuously go forward and also invest. First, you have to be proud of the fact that you believe in things that world cannot believe in. Then you should be proud of the victory won in the fight with Satan. You should be proud of the responsibility that you bear in a world where people avoid responsibility. So Father said, first, you have to be proud of the fact that you believe in things the world cannot believe in. So how about our life, our mission life, our blessed families life, our life of the unification movement is really not simple matter, especially early time, the pioneering era, creating the new history. That moment was not really simple history. So Father is not only mentioning about, of course, mentioning about Christianity, but not only talking about Christianity. Father is also talking all believers, and also he's talking about all of our blessed family and brother and sisters. On that account, the pride of God should reach all the way down to us through Jesus in the spirit world. And it should even extend down to the creation on the earth through us. Only when that takes place can God fulfill the ideal of creation in which he will to raise men up as the central figures before the creation and to take pride in them. Finally, man and all things can offer vows of gratitude to God, who takes pride in them. Such responsibility of the whole lies on our shoulders. So ideal God and God's wish, Jesus' wish, and wish of all human beings is depends on ourselves who can fulfill responsibility. So everything is actually on our shoulder. We who are here today are very unworthy. Our faith is also pathetic. From now on, when men have to fight with Satan, we should pray, "Dear Father, please give strength to humanity so that they can fight and win over Satan. Please guide all of humanity so that they can bear the responsibility. Moreover, you should face the enemy of the whole. Fighting alone and prevailing over him, you should be able to say, 'God, I offer this joy to you.'" So what kind of situation we are standing now? Really, we are praying now. Really, we have to pray and really think and offer our heart to our true Father and Heavenly Father, Heavenly Parents. Behalf of Jesus and behalf of Heavenly Parents. So continuously we are sharing about Father's message, especially in the early time of Father's public course. This message is in 1956. That time he still did not share or could not share he is the second coming. He is the true parents. But continuously he prayed for Jesus and he shared the Jesus heart. And through sharing the Jesus heart, also he delivered the message as the second coming, about his determination and his also hope and wish to brothers and sisters, Christian, and also hope of Heavenly Parents and Jesus Christ. So we really appreciate everyone. We learn again, share, inherit our Jesus heart again, and let's prepare and share those blessings and message to our brothers and sisters in the society, nation, and world. Once again, thank you, our brothers and sisters, to join this morning Fundoke. Let's offer the great hope and also love to the people. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you, Reverend Hitaka. Thank you. Sorry for that. I hope everyone didn't get interrupted. I mean, I missed our internet stopped here for some reason. I had to reconnect. That's why you may have heard recording again. Okay. Already got a couple of people asking me. Stop. I already have a couple of people asking me about Daniel. Just to update, I spoke to Daniel yesterday. He's still in hospital, but he's come off oxygen. His fever's down. He's eating better. He's feeling like he's got energy. And It's been over 2 weeks, so I think he's through the worst of it. So is now on the mend. He's been up and down. The reason it affected him, he had a condition called sarcoidosis, which is a lung infection, and it affects the lung, and that's why he had a worse time than the rest of his family. But he's definitely through it. So that's great. And thank you everyone for praying. Many things came to my mind as Reverend Yutaka was sharing about Jesus' life, and it's our responsibility, and it's because of us that Jesus can't rest. It's because of us that God can't rest. It's because of us that our true parents are here and they can't rest, and this responsibility of the whole, how we need to take it on, and I always feel that the responsibility of the whole, is not meant to be done individually. It's meant to be done together, and that's why we have our community, so that we recognize the responsibility and we do it together. And our responsibility is to change, to bring people into life. We don't recognize how dead we are when people experience the love of God, and it's euphoric, and anything is possible. But to maintain that connection, it sort of seems to me that we're going to be forced to do that, because when we leave this physical world, the world is the world of love, and whether we like it or not, we have to love genuinely, because that's the atmosphere we have to breathe. And I laughed when Reverend Yutaka read, "Our faith is pathetic." Well, I think at times we have to all admit we're a bit pathetic, that we don't invest ourselves more. Just reflecting on the PCLC, after it's all over, I thought of all the things that I could have done more, I could have done better, other people that could have invited and didn't think of. It's just, can always do better. We need to step forward, and take on that role. And the other thing I found interesting was reading the chalkboard where Father was standing, and I noticed the numbers. 1945 plus 7 equals 1952. So I could imagine Father was talking about that time on the chalkboard. And I saw other numbers that were talking about the 90s, from 92 to 95. And I was just imagining Father, sharing with members, the heart of God, and how frustrated God was and still is, because we're not where we're supposed to be. So many opportunities, for people to turn around, but always it ended up one person taking on the responsibility, the responsibility of life. And we are living, but we need to get to the point where every day, we live and breathe love. Because if we don't get into that, then we'll struggle in the next world, to be able to live and breathe love. And so, thank you, everyone. Let's open it up to others. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Arai, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I think as John said, we have to love genuine to other people. That's true. And so this time, so two mother gave a speech, a little lower voice, very slow, and to really reach to the Christian leader to understand incredible Truma's approach. But I don't know, they understand or not. Especially story of gospel. The other day, Reverend Yamada said, how Christian people can understand Jesus' heart. I think they understand different way. I think because when Jesus died, crucified, after 3 days, resurrected, Christian people said, disciples believe spiritually, physically. So when he went there, angel said, he resurrected, walk away, not here. Then also, disciple, when see Jesus, did not believe. But Jesus said, maybe you think you're on a spirit, but not on spirit, or physically resurrected. You can touch, okay, also can eat fish. Then this is one of the incredible surprise, like a dead person after 3 days resurrected, spiritually, physically. Then Jesus said, already written in the Bible, it after crucified, 3 days resurrect. So then appear to 500 people, then go to spiritual world. But actually they understand go to heaven with it's a resurrected Jesus. Go to heaven. Then that's why for writer of gospel story, of course behind the God guidance, but there are 3 years, saw what happened Jesus. Then finally Jesus resurrected spiritually, physically, appeared us. That's why end of the day when Jesus appeared, then people from a dead person also it's resurrect. They believe that one. That's why we say Messiah come from Korea. It is not so easy to believe because that is a story. That's why when we can see Bible for gospel story, they are so excited. They saw after 3 years, Jesus resurrected. That's why don't afraid at all. If I'm going to die, I'm going to kill. It's that is a spirit. That's why after that, they're always singing, always the joy, praise the God. Like an incredible spirit, like a Pastor Gilbert in Indonesia, really dancing. It's that kind of spirit, that kind of heart. Christian people are inherit. Mm. That's why if we say Jesus did not success, Jesus should not die, it's totally they disagree. That's why if we cannot debate directly, we try to not to change because that is a Christian people. That's why this time a lot of help from US, America, ACLC, and I don't know detail how America, it's a Christian people started from black, clergy. I think not to start a debate from debate for theology. I think many Japanese missionaries who can speak English like me, really serve, incredible serve, then start, they felt love, they felt sincere heart, and then start for the open heart. But I think it's now this time it's through the TCLC, so Christian leader sincerely or here I think two mothers speak first time maybe so sincerely. That's why, but not easy to understand. That's why really this is time. Maybe we cannot do like a Japanese missionary, but important thing is not only without debate, really how can, like John said, love genuinely, really love through the ordinary daily active, and then we keep going and really we show true love, understand, is support, help many ways. This is a way I think we can find out the breakthrough, and we really thanks to the people who involve also island leaders, brothers, sisters. We are thank you so much, truly thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Araya. We've got two people waiting to speak. First, Chris, and then Jeff. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, morning, everyone. Yeah, a couple of inspirations from Sunday, and to follow on with what Mr. Araya is saying. One, I think to me, what True Mother said was completely new. Parts of it, I think, maybe never have been heard before, about her speaking about specifically her birthday being 400 years after a particular event. And when I hear things like that, to me, Heavenly Father says to me, pay attention. We've given something to you that's not been given out before, as Father as I understand. So please look at the contents of this speech. Please be very careful about how this was delivered. So as Mr. Rice said, yeah, this was new and things I'd never heard presented in that way ever before. So now the next part of my inspiration, I'm going to tell you where the inspiration came from first so that you can follow along, because when those little books were released, you might remember, of the saints and people giving testimony from the spirit world. And the disciples are there in one of those volumes. And at some stage in that testimony, one of the disciples was asked, do you consider yourself disciples of true parents now? And they said, no, we are disciples of Jesus. And we will always be. Jesus gave us life and we are loyal to him eternally. Now they are in the spiritual world being taught the principle by true children, right? And so the inspiration is this, that many of the brothers and sisters may very easily relate the way in which I'm going to say, but I think many of us don't. I had to be taught this. I had to realize this, that through Mother's speech, that's why she didn't talk about Father. She spoke about the returning of Jesus, the marriage blessing of the Lamb, and her being the feminine complement of that blessing that comes through that marriage, through the blessing. And what we have to visualize and what we have to substantially project and talk about is that they are coming with Jesus. Those disciples will never, ever, but well, maybe if they get to Jesus' level, but even in the spirit world, they are not disciples of true parents. They are disciples of Jesus, and Jesus brought them to true parents, and they remain that way. So it's the same with the Christians, I believe, we're witnessing to. That if we can convince them that Jesus is on side with this, they will come with him. We must be careful not to visualize them becoming disciples of true parents, because they never will. Now, in saying that, some people who are not true Christians but searching for the truth may become disciples of true parents. But a true Christian who's been reborn through Christ will never, ever leave him and convert to true parents. They will receive the blessing through true parents as disciples of Jesus. So that's my inspiration. If we can visualize that, remember that, and bring them along and convince them, not that, as Mr. Rice said, not that he made mistakes, not all that, not Father's the Messiah. So once again, they can also reinforce any doubts we have. Why is Mother not talking about Father? This is why, because they just won't accept that. So, you know, later they will, but right now, if we can bring them along and see Jesus, you know, them coming in unity to something Jesus is unified with, I think we'll have a lot more success. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I think one key takeaway with that, concluded with maybe later, because as we know, there are many ministers in America who eventually came to understand who True Mother is. And so, yeah, so it is, of course. Just want to say that somehow, in many ways, we are forerunners to those who are coming. And some of the things we went through also, in my own case anyway, when Father passed away, and we had been following Father for so many years, and Mother was, as we know, very quiet, and yeah, didn't say much, and from some point of view, although she did world tours and, you know, spoke in many places, but we certainly were led by Father. And at the time, I felt that Father guided her and prepared her. And yeah, I don't know, from my point of view at the time, I probably thought Father probably told Mother what she should say, you know. But anyway, I'm coming to know something a little bit different now. But when Mother began saying, I'm the only begotten daughter, within me, there was certainly a certain speed bump, or, you know, some sort of a hesitancy to be able to digest this new content. So I remained quiet, you know, trying to understand this kind of new kind of thinking. And it took me some time to really understand the logic of it, that there has to be an only begotten daughter, as there was an only begotten son, you know, with her unique characteristics and many things. So I feel also that even Christians who hear this new concept, in the beginning, they may have some bumps. But as we think about it and pray about it, you know, as they do, you know, they may come to realize what took me time to realize. You know, some of you may immediately, as soon as they heard that, you just said, wow, finally, you know, at last I hear, you know, I already knew this sort of thing, but not for my case, you know. It took me a bit of time to understand this new kind of understanding of Mother's responsibility. So anyway, that's sort of something what I wanted to say. So I'm saying that, and just you know, that's my thinking, you know, that ministers will initially may have some resistance to understand this, but as time goes on, they'll begin to, you know, understand the logic of it. And some of us sort of work through our intellect a bit more to see that things balance up with our intellectual understanding. So anyway, we are at an incredible time. There's so much to say, especially the amazing preparation for Mother's talk with President Hori was just so amazing. I always kind of find it quite hard, his very slow way of talking and so forth, you know. but this time he was very clear and very amazing. And also Dr. Kittle, just incredible, like Holy Spirit kind of, incredible preparation. So there's a lot going on in our own lives as well to prepare us, to be able to have such clarity, about what we need to do. I'm very fortunate in New Zealand. I have developing many online holy communities and several ministers, that I've connected with through this PCLC, who connected and are liking what I'm putting up there and what we put up there and are congratulating, so we really have some. Now we've been praying in our condition to find those John the Baptist Christian ministers, and as a result of that, they are there. And now we need to figure out, planning how to really ongoing program for them. So there's just, there's lots of things happening beyond our understanding in those people's lives, what they've gone through and how they're going to be able to, through their unique ministry and their suffering course sometimes, how they're going to connect with us. So God has prepared people for us, and the ball is in our court. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. We're getting a lot of people now, but our time is up. But I'll just take one more, and that's Nah. And maybe Susie we can leave it to next time, because we have lots of things to do. So go ahead, Nah.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'll just be brief. Listening to True Mother through the PCLC, I could see that she was very careful in delivering her speech. I'm always intrigued to hear what she has to say. About the begotten daughter, all I heard was that she referred to the begotten daughter has been born. I don't remember referring to her, I'm the begotten daughter. So I could see she was very careful in saying that she didn't proclaim I am the begotten daughter, unless I missed it. But it's just saying that the only begotten daughter has been born. And then with I think she was being careful about the ministers. And then Dr. Bishop Kim from America, the regional leader in America, when he spoke, then he gave the proclamation about True Mother being the begotten daughter and the true parents. Like, it was very different to True Mother's speech, whereas True Mother was a bit careful not to proclaim so much, and then there it was. Dr. Kim gave the statement, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't know, did they prepare did he prepare his speech, or did he know what True Mother's speech was going to be? It was like, anyway, it was, I just wonder. But it was, it was interesting, because that was quite bold for the ministers who supported the PCLC. Anyway, that's all I want to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We need to, I'll share the screen and we can offer our unison prayer together. So I'll just share now. So let's. Arju, Arju, Arju. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. And please save what you wanted to say today for tomorrow. Thank you. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you.